Good afternoon, everybody. You can tell it's going to be quite warm and it's nice weather here today because we've got aeroplanes flying around. So it might get a little bit noisy, but not to worry. We've also got quite a lot of noise and things coming from businesses round us today. So yeah, you don't always notice it, but for some reason today we have. But that's okay. So we're going to spend the next hour tangling, so who cares what's going on around. So what do we have today then? I've actually used one of the tangerine tiles. It is one of my favourite colours, and it's if you see my memory book that I take on Create and Craft, it is the colour that goes with the grey and cream. It's beautiful, so I love those. But what I have done is I've inked it. Here we go, just a little bit, just around the outside edges. I've not made it really neat. You can see it's got rough bits, but it's just a background, so it doesn't matter. I've used a dark brown sort of ink kind of colour there, but you don't have to. I just think for this particular one, I want to have a bit of an element of light in the middle, so that's why I've gone for that. And again, I thought what I'd do is I'm going to use a bit of a stencil today. Nothing seriously. You can create a square if you want, and my actual sample is a square, but I'm going to have a round border just for something different. So this one, if you're not sure, I've actually taken it out of the essentials sets that we've got, the Zen Buttons one, because it gives you the largest circle in there. And again, if you want to do it by hand or you want to do a different shape, feel free. It really doesn't matter. But you can see there, that's just my string. If you want to do a wobbly, wavy, that's fine. Just go with the flow. And it's nice to see, by the way, that there's quite a few of you kept with it and you know, did the challenge on Wednesday. It's really nice to see. So yeah, I can't wait to see the rest of them. But just keep trying it. You'll get there. All right, so here we go. Yeah, just going to start with a pencil. Just for now, I just want to put a little bit of a guide in there because our first shape that we're going to do needs just a little bit of help. So it doesn't really matter which I'm going with, top and bottom, although I've got quite a light area here. So I'm going to perhaps have that sort of more at the top. But again, look at your own tile and see what you want to do with it. So the first thing, I'm just going to turn it because I find it easier to draw certain shapes at a bit of an angle. So you might just want to watch just for a minute. Okay, so it's quite a largest, but it's sort of a flat oval shape, if that makes sense. We're almost going to draw a bit of a fried egg just to get us going. Here we are. See, a bit of a fried egg. I know, sometimes you do this and you look at the little stencils, you think, I'm just going to go with it and I'm just going to trust what she's doing. All right, so back in now with a pen. I'm going to add a little bit of a point to the top there. You see? If I then draw around that small, see, you don't have to be exact with those shapes, but as long as you've got an idea, see, a little bit of a point at the top. You see, like a macaroon now. All right. Hey, we're going to start, aren't we, now with food puns? Oh, do you know, that's John's favourite tea, chips and eggs. Something more boring. Okay, so I'm going to sort of go from here. See where it almost joins? I'm just going to create a little bit of a step there. There we go. Back to nothing there. Okay. Hello Bonnie from America. It's lovely to be speaking with people from all different places. And yeah, looks like dragons and phoenixes are coming in all over the place. You're going to have fun this weekend. All right. So I've done a bit of a curve, you see? A bit of a curve, and I've stopped it where that line's coming in. And again, I'm going to do 2, 3. You see, there's a little bit of a hook on the end. Oh, Louise, I'll catch up later. She's pretty good like that now. She's addicted. She can't not do it. Hi, Louise, for later. Okay. All right, so there we go. We've got 3 going one way and 3 going another. So let's just sort of put that in a little bit thicker. Now you see I'm just sort of working my way, following that little bit of a curve there. Just making them a little bit thicker. It's a hovercraft. I actually saw it somewhere, you know, I mean we've all seen something or elements of things before, and I like to, you know, pick up on things, take my own ideas from it. Of course, I wouldn't ever copy somebody's tile exactly and put it as one of my own. It's all, but we do see things that are already been out there. So there we go. There we are. So we've got that little shape there, and this is why I wanted just to do it lightly. I'm just going to rub out that section now because we don't really need it. Just make sure that your ink's dry before you do it. Okay. All right. Here we are. So let's have a look at that. So I'm just going to put a little curve there and just sort of whip it round so it's got a little bit of a highlight before we start. Okay. So then, now the choice is yours here. You can actually sort of, I'm going to bring it in and just touch the edge of my border there. And then again, I'm just going to be, see it's a little bit bigger there. Bringing it into there. Okay. I was actually looking at the last few tiles we've done because they're all nice and neatly packed in one of my files, you know, with the 6 sort of spaces in the files. And I think it's nice to see, you know, at a glance what you have and haven't done. So I thought we've done a few grids of late, so I'm going to do something a bit more organic today. Okay, so you see where I've put them. Now you can put these wherever you like. I'm only going to do one of these, but what I'm doing here, I'm going to do 2 of. So I've just done one to the edge there or to the side, and let's make it bigger so you can see what I'm doing now. So let's just add an aura around those shapes. Okay, and then I'm going to do another. I'm going to go all the way around. Just sort of doesn't match up the different sizes, so I'm going to make it sort of fit with the 5 there. Okay, and then I'm just going to add that little aura on the inside. It's so different, isn't it, when you ink your tile first and you've got that little bit of a background. It's almost like you've already started it. It's okay, I'm just getting back in now, and you see those spaces? Just filling them or adding an extra little bump. Oh, Bonnie, don't let it defeat you, don't. Keep trying it. Just a bit of scrap paper and just keep going. It will click, honestly. But I have to challenge you now and again. But no, don't. Stick with it, honestly. Stick with it. Okay, now see here, I can probably get 2 in, so I'm going to go ahead and just put 2 in there. Now, you can stop this whenever you want, because obviously we keep doing this, it's going to get really big. Yeah, if you think you've got space to put 2 in. So let's just sort of put the little auras in here and then let's have a look at it. Just check size against the first one that we did. There we go. All right. Okay. I'm going to do just a little bit more. Now don't forget here, if you don't think you need to go all the way around, you might want to sort of add a little bit more bulk one side than the other. So just sort of keep looking at it and add in these little shapes just to sort of give you something that's sort of pleasant looking in that sense. Okay? All right, I think what I'm going to do is just going to put a little dot in the middle and some little lines coming out. There you go, like a little button. There we are. So I'm going to put another one. I'm going to put another one of those this side. So starting as before, let's see, I can put that little button in if I want to start with. There you go. Okay, and let's put in those sort of petals again. Okay, so this time I'm only getting 4, but that's fine. So if I come on in there. And then aura inside. There we are. Now if yours is a little bit too small to aura inside, you might want to aura outside. There you are. And here we go again. Just adding those little shapes. Now of course you can add all the shapes and then come back and aura all of them after. See, you could go around and do that first. But it's whatever is comfortable for you, whatever works. So, you know, if you ordered both the dragon and the phoenix, which one are you going to draw first? Which one are you going to try? I don't know. Oh, I know my little creative team have actually posted pictures of the work that they did for some inspiration for you. And when I get in this evening, I'll take photographs of the original pieces in their frames, so you can have a look at those too. You can see where the ideas came from. So by all means, you know, if you're not sure of something, just ask the question. Put a post out and just ask it. We'll get back to you. All right. Okay. Oh, you rose. The baby dragons. They are so cute. And the one in my little memory book is just adorable. It's lovely. Okay, let's put a couple of stems on here. I'm not going to have them all going to the same section here. I'm just going to sort of curve them in the way that I think they're going. Now you notice that at the top they're a little bit thicker than the bottom. Oh, I bet that looks good. If you see, I did a couple of different versions in my practice book, so I have posted that. If you're not sure what we're talking about with the tile the other day, it's nice to see what they're going to look like. Okay, so I've got 2 there. So I'm going to put in a little curve here. Okay, let's just make this a bit bigger. So I'm going to start with a little bobble on the end. Okay, I'm going to turn it this way now. And I'm going to go quite small. Bobble there, bobble there. You see how it's sort of looped? And then I'm going to loop again, but it's going to get a bit bigger. And loop again. And again. You see it's getting a bit bigger. And then I think I'm going to call it like that. Put a little curl on. Bit of a leaf shape. So let's do another one. So I'm going to come out to my border this time. So this time I'm going to do it all in one go, look. I'm going to do bobble, bobble, bobble. Bit bigger. Alright, so you see you've got a couple of variations there. It just gets a bit crazy and carried away, but they're kind of nice. Just having a little bit of something there. Okay, let's have a look now where we're at. Okay, so we are going to put some more of these in, but we can sort of work these up and down as we go. But I'm gonna add something else, and I'm gonna do it here. So I'm gonna add a little bit like it's almost like a teardrop shape, but it's sort of round on the edge. We're ignoring the point and we're putting a round shape there. See, like that. Okay, so again, I'm gonna go. Oh, I've turned you all round. You can see the top of the. Good job, my ceiling's clean, isn't it? All right, so, okay, I'm going to just add some really little bubbles just around that bottom section there. There we go. And then add a bit of a curve. 1, 2, 3. Same on this side. Now this time, you can decide to go outside your border, or you can go and stay inside your border. It really doesn't matter. I think I'm going to go inside, you see, so I'm going to stop at that line. Okay, so I'm going to put an extra line there, so I made a bit of a curve of it, and then same at the bottom. So I've got 2 going there. And then again, so you might have to sort of extend that original line a little bit, but that's okay, you can do that. Okay. There we are. So we're making it look as if it's going on the inside there. There we go. Alright. Okay, so I'm just going to put in a couple of little lines. Again, depends on, you know, how many you want to put in and what space you've got there. And let's put a couple in between as well. It's a bit of a fluffy one. Same here. There we go. Might even add a couple of little dots on the end of each of those. So I'm not really going to get the ends of them because they're underneath and behind. Okay. So let's, this time again I'm going to have a larger sort of, a wider piece at the top, and it gets a little bit narrower. And then again, I'm just going to come on in and add that little bobble at the top, and then let's loop it round just to create those little sort of leaf shapes. Okay, spider in a nomad. Oh, okay, let's have a look at where we're at. Okay, so we've got a few things going on here, haven't we? So let's bring another one of these in. So I'm going to sort of imagine it being sort of up in this area here. Let's add in that little teardrop shape again. And then adding in those little bubbles just around the base there. And then 1, 2, and 3. Do the same on that side. It gives us a bit of an idea as to where we're going. And then of course we want to come on in then and add in those extra bits. There's another. Another one here. Let's go on in. Another aeroplane flying over. Right, we won't have that soon. No. Actually, a month today, we won't have that. Oh, thanks, Bonnie. I know sometimes we like our specific designs, and I like to mix and match them a bit. So I know some of us find this kind of tangle quite tricky. So I'm going to go out there. But some people love it, whereas with the grids, some people love them. And sort of when they see organic, they don't want to do it. But it's nice to try all of them, however they may come out. You don't ever have to show anybody. It's all about just enjoying it and tagging along with everybody else, isn't it? It's nice. There we are. Oh, I like that one. Okay, now of course we can't have sort of 2 of these and 2 of these. It just doesn't kind of work. So I'm going to put another one in. It's a little bit cliche to put one this side, I suppose, but we could sort of bring one up and, I don't know, maybe sort of here, so it's slightly behind. There we go. Now this is just going to make you imagine a little bit where things are going to go. So putting in those 3 lines as before, and then here you're going to sort of see a little bit of one. There's the other. You're not going to see the third. But then of course, you know, in life you're not going to see everything perfectly clear. Things are going to go behind each other. And again, I think that's what gives you the depth and the sort of idea that things are, you know, 3-dimensional. There we go. And then again, let's just add in these little shapes. They're sort of just like little flicks, really, aren't they? So you don't have to really count them. Just whatever works in the space that you've got. There we go. And a few there. Just adding those dots on, just sort of Makes them look like you actually meant to put them there. Oh, there you are. See, Lindsay, I know you quite like your grids, but absolutely, Ron. You have to try them all. I mean, I don't get everyone right. Sometimes I'll look at things and think, my goodness me, what have I done there? You know, but you have to try it, don't you? You have to give it a go. Otherwise, you never make progress. Okay, so this one, I'm going to imagine that my leaves started up and in here. So I'm going to sort of do the loops just as I would. Okay, so I'm going to start to see a loop about there. All right, so again, just going to bring it out and then just put a little curl when you think I've had enough, and that's it, right. Just something about them, isn't it, and how they grow, and kind of like them. So let's I'm going to add another leaf. I'm going to go up here, and then the same sort of thing. At this time I'm going to just do each individual loop, because of course I've got the two different kinds. There we go. See how it's sort of working together to give me a little bit of a different shape. There we go. You've got bits sort of working their way up and all right, liking that. So okay, we could put a couple of these in, but they don't all have to be sort of in full burst, so to speak. I'm going to put one in here now. The decision is I'm going to have it going behind that frame. So there's the sort of the teardrop with that bubble on the end. And then I'm going to just bring this round and create a thin line. Let's go a bit bigger so you can see it. There we go. And then thin line. Just gonna add in those bubbles just like we did before. Okay, and then build the stem in. Now I'm not taking the stem directly to the centre. As we said, we want it to be a little bit sort of move along, yeah. So let's put another one of them. Let's add one in here. So you're just going to get that one almost on the top there. Again, oh, let's put that one in first. Doesn't matter which way, I suppose, as long as you do both. There you go. Add in the bubbles in the bottom section. And then, so that's going to go under there. I do love going, you know, under things like this. It just really makes you think a little, because you've got to work out where they're going. Okay, so let's have a look what else we've got then. Let's bring another, I'm going to have one coming this way, I think. I'm going to put the stem in first. This is going to be a little bit different. There we go. And there we go. So stem in first. It's amazing how quickly it grows, isn't it? And then I'm just going to put a little bit of a top on, you see, sort of like a little, it's almost like a rectangle with like parallelogram. Is that what we used to call them? Okay, so imagine the centre. I'm going to do this way. I'm just going to add some curved lines all the way around. And then go in the other way. Oh, look at that. It's amazing, isn't it, from a few little shapes. Let's go a little bit bigger for this. See, can we actually get smaller ones just on the insides there? Right, I'm going to put 2 in. And then same around, so whichever way suits you, whether you want to come in or out. And then again, I'm just going to put dots on the end. And of course, I've obviously decided I'm going out to the border there. But again, it's entirely your choice. You can keep it all contained if you want to. This would make a fabulous card, wouldn't it? And I'm not saying necessarily just on a tile. You could do this as a whole topper type design, couldn't you? I'm going to add a couple of little, make it look like there's a few little ones in there as well. Oh, so you're showing off now, Viv. Look, trapeze arm. Oh my word. Okay. So quite a few things going on there. Now, of course, if we were to put something else there, you've got to think of balance when you're doing these, because if you fill it completely, you don't get any light coming through and it just almost looks symmetrical. And we've worked quite hard today, hopefully, to not get that symmetry. So I think we perhaps need just a few more leaves. So I'm just going to bring one up here. You see it's gone out of my frame. Again, just sort of work it in. When I get to the bottom, I'm just going to add a little curl on it. Okay. There we are. And so we've got quite a few going on, that's okay. Happy with that. So let's, any of the gaps left here, I'm just going to sort of add in a few bubbles. It always helps. You see quite a few of them on the base, just sort of like letting some of them loose just a little bit there. See? And of course, just you can even go over the stems. See, I'm just sort of getting it so my bubbles fit in, so that it doesn't look like I'm trying to work in and out of them. There we go. So they're quite clustered at the bottom. Let's go a little bit bigger. Yeah, it's been a while, you know, since I've been in a classroom now. Certainly, in an educational establishment, but hopefully soon we'll be back in and classes up and going. So, but it's not the same as being in school, I know. All right, so I've just sort of added a little bit of weight to the bottom there. I'm just gonna maybe add a couple in there, just by putting some sort of section on there. You see? Okay. And then a few of them just starting to float up and away, but then we've got space for a few more bits and pieces yet. Let's bring another curved shape in. I'm going to put a little bubble on it there. There we go. Let's just reinforce that. Fill it in. And then with our famous aura, we're going to aura around the whole shape. Just sort of follow the curve, sort of down there. Don't worry too much about down there. And then let's give it a little hat. And a smaller. And a smaller. There we go. Oh, look at that. Let's have one going this way. So it's going to go sort of underneath there. Still fill that in. A little bit of an aura around. There we go. And then of course you're not going to see all of it, but we know it's there. There we are. Okay. I know, Lisa, everybody struggles with symmetry. We all do. It's one of those sort of things that it's almost inbuilt, I would say. I'm going to go this way. All right, let's go a bit bigger so you can all... Oh, darn it. You can all see what you do. You can catch this one up afterwards. It's fine. It's not going anywhere. And I am really trying to put all of these, when they're done, onto YouTube. I know I didn't put Wednesdays on, but I think the others I have. And so the others are all on, you know, from the last few weeks they're on. And those in the middle that I've missed, so I don't know, maybe tile 30 to 100, something like that. I've got them all on YouTube in a draft form. I've just got to make up, I've just got to go in and, you know, fill in the information. And then they'll all be on there. So I'm working my way around that, getting that done. There you are. So same again, look. And then of course they have these lovely little hats on. Oh, so cute. See? And let's bring in a little bit of a curl with a bobble on the end. Let's have another little bobble on the end there. Okay. I think the beauty of this now is it's going to completely depend on where your flowers are and what space you've got. And it's sort of looking for that little gap. You think, oh, that would just look nice in there. And then just sort of fill it in. There you go, this is behind. You don't have to put these little sort of curls on all of them. Okay, let's just have one sort of wandering in here. There we are, just wrapping it around. Let's sort of have that coming in down here. And then of course, let's work our way with that one. All right. Okay, so let's bring in a couple of regular zingers. So here we go, let's add a little curl there. If you've not done a zinger before, it's a little dot. Here we go, I'm going to go a little bit big. And then I'm going to aura around that one. And then again. You see it gets smaller each time. So Julie, that one's for you if you're around today. And there, you see. They're sort of working their way around, in and out of each other. You don't have to have them really tall. You could just put one in there. See, let's have another one of those little bubbles on. Oh, do you know, it does look like it's in a bit of a ball, doesn't it? It's lovely. Let's have a look if we can see where we're going to put any more of those. Let's sort of put one up here. Alright. See how they sort of curl and do their own thing? They get up to literally just a little dot. There we go. I'm going to add another one in there, I think. If you're not careful, they're a little bit they're a little bit like weeds and they end up popping up everywhere. Alright. So, I think that's almost done. Do I want any more and do I not? I think I'm gonna leave it there, but I think what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna add a couple little bubbles in there. Okay, now some of them, you see here, I've got quite a space, so I'm just going to go in and fill it with bubbles. You know, it doesn't have to be realistic. This is all about just having a bit of license to do your own thing. Oh, see, do I have any more of those? Yeah, fill one in there. And maybe that one. So, you know, I'm just working within the gaps I've gone. It's just adding a little bit more weight there, isn't it? So let's just do that there as well. Okay, you see, just filling that in. Okay, I think we need to put some shading on, don't we? I think before that though, I want to add this ball shape back in, so I'm just going to bring my stencil back in. Now if you wanted a light shading or a light finish, what you could do is you could just ink around the outside of this, but I'm going to just sort of go with the shape. So I'm going to draw around there. You see here I've got things sort of sticking out, so I'm going to leave a bit of a gap. Same here. Now that I'm just going to move it a little bit just to bring that in. Around there. Okay, and then maybe there's a couple of bits there. I mean, of course you could do this freehand if you want to, but if we've got a sort of stencil there, it sort of seems a little bit surplus to requirements if we don't use it. And again, just if you're rubbing out your pencil lines and your ink, just make sure that you're not rubbing out the ink in as well. There we go. Again, yours is going to be so light anyway, you'll not notice it. Okay. It does, yeah, it needs a little bit of an elf or a gnome or something. Maybe have some little fireflies kicking off. But yeah, there's a lot of scope for this, isn't there? All right. So let's bring in our pencil. Now, of course, Could bring in a bit of coloured. I might bring a bit of, what have we got here today? A couple of bits and pieces. Oh, cup of tea, that makes life easier. Okay, what have I got? I've got some, I've got a bit of a creamy colour. Yeah, bit of a, what's that, bit of a beige-ish. And bit of yellow. Maybe I'll come in with a few of those. But I'm going to stick with pencil just for now, okay? So here we go. And let's just add in a little bit of pencils here. I'm just working it just sort of underneath the stems there. So I'm going to just do the same on any sort of stem I come across now. See little bits of, that might be all one, little bits of shadow there. And same one here. This one. Okay. Alright. So while I'm sort of on sides and general, I'm just going to add a little bit to either side of those. Just to one side on my little zingers. Okay, so if I follow it round, see I've got zinger there, one side there, put these, I'm going to put it on both. See both there and there. Okay, so our little leaf shapes, I'm just going to add a little bit up the centre. Okay, now of course if you wanted to come in with colour, you could put colour in there, but I'm going to go in with pencils first. Okay. Then let's focus on these little shapes. And again, I'm just going to add some to the inside there. I'm also going to add a little bit to the edges that side. And same there. And just a little bit of a smirk, almost like a little smile look there. All right, same on this. Let's do that little smile. And then here we go. And another one. I knew I'd got another one. There we are. Just adding this one here. Okay. And there. Alright. So let's just put that smirk in. And then of course, just going to do it there. Maybe touch on the edges. But again, if yours is quite narrow, you might decide not to put any there. It's sort of one of those things that you've got to be aware of. And then here, I'm just going to add some around the middle section there. You see, just on that bottom half. And the same here, but instead of doing the bottom half, I'm just sort of going to do, as long as I only do half of it. Okay. So, little bits either side here. Now I'm doing all of the pencil first because then we can do the sort of reveal with the shading afterwards. You see there, it's almost like a little owl shape, so I'm doing a little bit here and then in there. Okay. You see? And then around that section, just a little bit on the edges. We can always come in and add more if we think that that needs it in a little bit. And then just if you've got larger bubbles, we can go in and do those larger bubbles. But we don't have to do them all, just little bits if we need. Okay. So I'm not going to do the outside yet. I'm going to come in with the shading first with these. So here we go, tortillon. And I'm going to work sort of from one side to the other. So anything I come across, I'm going to work on. There we go, I've not done those as I do them. So here we go. I'm just going to go in with a sort of a zigzag and just sort of give myself a bit of shadow in the middle of that leaf there. Very little on the zingers. Just sort of up and down. Same with these, just sort of up and down, and I want to leave a little bit of a gap in the middle there. Oh, thank you, I have, yeah. That one? Yeah. Again, I might put a bit on that one while I'm there. There's so many of them, isn't there? See, I missed a bit there as well. But that's okay, we can come back and fill it in as we need to. You see, I'm just sort of softening it just down the stem. See, here just sort of softening it round, following the curves. And then straight there. But this one, I'm going to do either side, and I'm going to try and leave a gap in the middle if I can. Same on those. And then of course, back in, just softening those edges. See, and I'll work my way round into this flower. There we are, just sort of adding in that little bit of softness, but not losing the whole colour underneath. And same again, you see, just sort of working and easing that shading in, but not overdoing it. You see, this one I've ignored that little highlight there. I'm going round that, but you can always go in and either rub out, or you can add the white pencil in a little bit. See, I've got a little bit more work on there because I've sort of started to work in little swirls and then go around. See? Now here I'm going to ignore all the shapes underneath, and I'm just going to move that pencil just around that bottom edge. Okay. Alright, so here we go with those. See, just little bits. And down there. Okay. See there, I didn't quite put any down that bottom edge there. So just go back in and add that in. See, is that, oh, let's do that one, yeah. Zigzags on the leaves. And then again, I'm just gonna work in swirls, and I'm gonna just sort of shade that bottom section. So I'm not trying to focus on each individual petal there, I'm just giving it a bit of shape. And then down there, into those. And then of course, down here, adding that little bit in. Again, zigzagging. And down there we go. Those little bubbles. Okay, and here we go. Yeah, I know there's a few messages coming in today that things are freezing a little bit. I must say I'm not having any problems this end, so I don't know why it would be doing that. I'm sure on the replay it's going to be fine, so don't worry about it, it'll be there. There we go. Okay, so I've got sort of pencil work on there. So I'm going to just come in with a little bit of this sort of yellow. I'm using Prismas today, they just happen to be here. Now you're not going to see much on this because it's sort of the same colour as the tile. It's like this sort of tangerine effect. But I'm just going to work over the top of that grey. Just giving it a little bit additional colour. So you're not going to see much, but it's definitely on there. And then same one with these, a bit on there. Okay, and let's just do a bit on there. Okay, again I've got this sort of creamy colour. And let's bring a little bit of it across this top area. So this is when I'm using coloured tiles, it really makes a difference, because you can see where you're getting that extra sort of bit highlight. Of course you can use your white pencil to do the same thing. There we are. Look at the difference that makes. And again at this top end, let's just have a little bit onto those. A little bit on there. And then I'm just going to add a little bit up the centre of, on one edge of the fingers, you see? So up the centre of those ones, But with a zinger, you're going to do the opposite side. Alright, same again. Got them all, just sort of check that you've got them all in there. A little bit on that there. Okay. I'm going to bring, I've got quite a bright green here, so let's bring just a touch of green in. I'm just going to add it a little bit on some of these front stems. See, not overdoing it, just sort of dragging in a little bit of colour. Not taking it all the way up, I'm just bringing the interest down here. See, so I'm not going up this top end, just little bits down there. Now, of course, the main focus of this is this flower here. So what we do is we need to bring something into this area here. So being that I'm working on a yellow tile, I'm going to go complete opposite. I've got a bit of a magenta-y colour going on here. And I'm just going to add a little bit more in there. Just to sort of bring your attention back to it. Okay. And just see just a little bit in those corners. So I'm not trying to colour it in, I'm just sort of applying a little bit of colour there. There we go, just around that shape there. And then again, I'm just going to add a little bit, just in the middles there, I think, just to bring it together. Okay, so I'm just going to go back to my pencil. Now at this point, let's just make it a little bit smaller. Or maybe Joe, maybe it is the planes, I don't know. Well, so we're not going to have that forever because, as you all know, we are moving. So here we go, I'm going quite heavy at the front there with the pencil. And then as I move it round towards the top, I'm just going to sort of ease the pressure off a little bit. You see, so you can still see that I'm adding pencil, but it's a little bit lighter at the top. Okay, and as I come back down, now you see here they are actually inside that, so I'm going to go over them, whereas these are outside, so I'm just going to go as though they're going behind. Okay, bit of a tortillon. There we go. I'm just sort of softening it, just sort of going around in little swirls. I'm not trying to overpower the image that's in there, but it just needs to sort of sit behind. Let's see. Now, if it's a case of this or the dragon, why not have this as the background? You could have the dragon sitting there, and you could have these little flowers and elements of them sort of sitting around the outside of it. That could be quite nice, because these you can do any size, you don't have to stick within the tile size. It's just going to give you that little bit of something, isn't it? Okay, almost there. See how it's darker down this section? Because that's obviously a lot closer. We just need a little bit more of a highlight, so I'm just going to bring in, if I can find it. I did have one, there we go, my white chalk pencil. Okay. So you just sort of here where you've got these little highlights, I'm just going to add a touch. Now this is a chalky pastel pencil. So if you haven't got one, you could use a white pencil. And it just sort of shows, because there's a light source behind it, it's just sort of picking up on the fact that there's little bits of light on the tops there. And then same sort of on this side. I'm not going to do them all, I'm just going to do a few just to give it a bit of a highlight. And then of course the same here. I'm not trying to call them in, I'm just sort of touching them with a little bit of lightness. And then maybe just a little bit in there. Just sort of hitting slightly. Nothing crazy. Okay, so let's have a look at that. Oh Lorraine, that would be really nice. Are you going to you know, burnish yours into wood in any way, shape or form. As I know you do that kind of thing, it'd be quite nice. Okay, so I'm going to just add a little bit right on the top there. It's not going to be much, but there we go. I think with all that done, I'm not going to do a single thing to that now. I think I'm going to leave it as is. Oh, apart from, let's have a look. Back to pen. And I'm just going to come on in. I'm just going to add a few dots. See, just in those corners. There we go. So we should have actually, we should have all had cake today, being that it was Garth's birthday, but mine never arrived, Garth. I was sort of expecting, being that it was your birthday, it was up to you to decide and sort out cakes for everyone. But we'll let you off. It's your birthday. Happy birthday. Hope you had a great day. Was it yesterday? I hope you had a great day. So, I did actually add something into your parcel, Garth. So, did you think I was going to forget? No, I didn't. All right. Okay, see, I've just sort of added a little bit of a pen line just to sort of emphasise a couple of those little lines in places. Nothing much, so you've got those little bits of dots. But it's, really, I think I'm going to leave it at that, apart from, of course, adding my little signature. So, hopefully, there we go, we're about done. So, I think if I move that one up a little bit, take it out, you can see that we've obviously used a circle to do that one. There we are. But if you wanted to do a square frame, there you go. It's a little bit pale. I had to do it slightly darker. There you go. So it's, there you go. It's entirely up to you whether you decide that you want to go with a square background or whether you want to do a circle. You see that? I've probably spent a little bit more time on that one than this one because we've got a few more colours going on in there, but it's nice to see the difference. But entirely up to you, whichever way you want to go with it. So, okay, if you, you want to have a go at that this weekend and see where it leads, whether you want to put it with dragons, without dragons, in amongst the phoenixes or the peacocks, whatever you want to do, just have a bit of fun with it. So, okay, I think that's done now, and we're going to leave it there. So, back over to doing what I was doing. Got lots of ideas and different bits and pieces coming up. So have a lovely weekend, and don't forget it's the tile swap number 7 on Monday. So if you're out and about, you can watch it later, but if you want to join me to see what it is we're going to be doing, that would be great. But don't forget 2 o'clock on Monday on this page. So have a lovely weekend, everybody, and take care, and I will see you all on Monday. All right, have fun. Bye.